Well, and I want to start off because, again, knowing the internet, no one here is saying that all depression is spiritual.
Right.
There are very real cases of anxiety that need to be medicated, or depression that needs medication. There are good therapists. I'm a proponent of that. Right?
Yeah. We have them in our own community.
Right. So my initial reaction, though, when you said that, I was like, oh, yeah, no, totally. But I think it's because I see I'm not looking at the world as a whole when talking about this subject. I'm looking at the Catholic subset, and even a deeper subset of the faithful Catholic, or people who are looking to go deeper, who tend to over spiritualize everything.
And give me an example.
Well, there's a couple. So, Ann and I did a show on over spiritualizing healing.
Vernick, who is an executive at the Avila Institute.
Yeah, we did a show covering Divine Intimacy Radio for you guys. You were out of town, and we talked about over spiritualizing healing, where there could be an issue where people think that, well, all I have to do is reject, and I reject, but nothing is changing.
Okay.
And they treat it only spiritually. Well, It must be demons, and I'm not doing something right. And then they start spiraling, and what am I doing wrong? And blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
And the whole thing is, again, not to take it back to my EMDR and stuff and her experience with different therapy and things, but there is a reality of a mental and physical component that also needs to be addressed.
Right.
So there's that aspect. The other aspect in the subset of subsets is the folks, we mentioned this with Charles Franny in the last show, or one of the last shows, where people will really just want, well, I just need this prayer for this situation, or I need this prayer for this situation.
Yeah.
Right. Or on the most mundane aspect is, well, I got a flat tire. The devil's just after me today. It's like, no, dude, you ran over a nail. Like it's not that complicated.
No. So, well, finish your thought, and I'm going to argue about the nail.
Right. So, well, this is my thing. I'm not saying that isn't caused by the enemy.
Yeah.
What my response is to the improper mindset, in my opinion, of people who are looking for the devil under every rock.
Yeah.
And every single thing that they experience in their lives,
that's negative,
must be warfare, must be the devil, must be something else. And my understanding, my viewpoint of that is a fear mindset. That is a fear of I'm constantly under attack, which may sound funny to people because I quote the Council of Trent all the time that says we're in a perpetual war, and with them there can be no peace and no truce. We know that we're in a war, but we don't have to have a fear mindset. That's where I'm coming from. Because when I took who teaches the Intro to Moral Theology for us?
A bunch of people, different
okay,
professors.
well, I took
Dr. Wynn.
I don't remember. But I took Intro to Moral Theology.
Oh, Moral Theology is Pinto or Alphonsus Pinto?
No, he's teaching. It doesn't matter. We're
gonna the other guy teaches for for FSSP.
If anyone wants, that's who it was. If anyone wants to take those classes, avila-institute.org, they're amazing.
Right.
So in the Intro to Moral Theology class, there is understanding moral theology. There's this great phrase that I've taken to heart, which is virtus in medio stat. Virtue is somewhere in the middle. So when you brought this up and I said, oh yeah, people overreact, it's because I know that there's a reality on this end that the devil could very well be trying to. I've experienced it where yesterday I'm emotionally drained, absolutely emotionally drained for various reasons, good reasons. I get home, my water heater is not working. It is ice cold water. And I will tell you right now, I cannot stand. Listen, I'll do all sorts. Showers. I'll do all sorts of mortifications.
You can jump in the lake.
I could have jumped in the lake. I can do all sorts of mortifications without any complaint or minimal complaint. I'm not perfect. Cold showers is one of them that actually it's not happening. And that tied in with something else. I couldn't find what I needed. I'm trying to look stuff up. I can't. So all these little things are building up. That I'm like, okay, what is happening? This water heater not working could very well be a natural occurrence. It probably is. But the enemy is using it because I'm getting angry.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
And he's going to poke and he's going to, these little things. So that's my argument is there's a middle ground here where we can't be living with our head in the sand and pretending that nothing is happening. That's extremely dangerous. That's actually, I think, more dangerous than assuming the devil's under every rock.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
That's why I tend to be a little more sympathetic to he's more present rather than less.
Well, we know that to be true.
Yeah.
I mean, well, and here's the deal. Like, I'll say this, and I don't mean, I may have derailed our debate session here, and I didn't mean to, but Father Morth has written multiple times about, okay, well, we don't know if this person's actually possessed, but we're going to treat it like he's possessed.
Mhm.
It's a diagnostic. Why? He said, there's no harm in me praying
Right.
prayers of exorcism. Nothing's going to come of that and harm
Right.
the person. And we're going to find out, and we're going to find out quick.
Yeah.
So I tell people, don't live in fear. It's okay to treat everything spiritually as a practical, like a prescription,
Right.
right? Like, reject it first. Why? There's no harm in that.
Yeah.
But if you reject it 50 times and you're still dealing with the same anxiety, then there's something going on.
You may need to look a little deeper.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.